Good afternoon again, guys. Okay, obviously there's a lot of stuff going on today. So I want to kind of add to more of what I put out this morning about economic stuff. And this basically will tell you everything and anything you need to know. You know, I've been a proponent of silver for basically ever. Okay. And I mean, many channels, Rudy over at Alaska Prepper is, following this just like I am. Okay. You are about to see the beginning of the end of the US dollar. And no, I'm not trying to do fear porn or anything like that. And I'm going to explain why. Okay. If there's any time to be buying precious metals, it's now if you have any intention of whatsoever of saving any of your assets, your wealth, whatever you want to call it. We all know back in 1971, Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard, okay, where US dollars were backed by gold. And at that point, we backed dollars by the full faith and credit of the United States, which obviously right now we know means about nothing. But a lot of you hear the term, maybe some of you understand it, what petrodollars are. Okay? Dollar basically pegged to oil, and that's more or less what it was. So if I explain to you slightly how that worked, back in the 70s, y'all remember the oil embargoes and gas and everything like that. We got with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia was in dire need of money and protection, military protection, okay? And so the United States helped Saudi Arabia, which obviously was the biggest oil-producing country in the world, with the agreement that we would provide defense for them, provided all oil was sold anywhere in the world in dollars, okay? And what that was able to do was, and again, we talked about Ponzi schemes this morning, this allowed us to somewhat export any inflation that we had to other countries, because as long as things were done in dollars, the U.S. had a little bit of control over our inflation based on oil prices, okay? Because, obviously oil prices aren't stagnant, they move. Okay, depending on production, et cetera, et cetera. Here's where we have a problem. Okay, now, y'all know, can't miss this one, okay, and I've talked about it. I did the video the other day, The Axis of Evil. Y'all know that Russia and China have gotten very close, okay? They've formed a alliance, a holy hell alliance, I guess, if you will. And there have been other countries that have joined into this alliance. Iran, again, like I talked about, but other oil-producing companies. It's the BRICS organization, for all intents and purposes. It's just another acronym, okay? But it's a bunch of countries that have lined up with Russia, China, Brazil, Iran, whatever would be. Well, a couple of days ago, the Saudi defense minister signed a military cooperation agreement with Russia. Now, think about this for a second. Why in the world would the Saudis, who for the last 50 years have been protected basically by the U.S., need to sign a military cooperation agreement with Russia, and by default, China? They are trying to, and this has been going on, they are trying to squeeze out the American dollar as the world reserve currency. China's all but admitted it, okay, that they want the yuan to be the world reserve currency. If that happens, you will see massive inflation, hyperinflation, and you will see the dollar crash. The dollar will be, you think it's losing value day in and day, your spending power is going down day in and day out now, okay? if we are no longer part of the petrodollar world, if you will, if we aren't the reserve currency for oil, which every country in the United States, every country in the world obviously uses, this is when you will see the U.S. economy completely crash. This is when you will see the dollar crash. This will make 1929 look like a walk in the park. Okay, this will make 1987 look like nothing. This will make 2008, 2009 look like a good day. Okay. You want to add more to it? Yeah, because there's more. Nigeria signed onto this today. Now you're talking about population and a boatload more oil. While Joe is so worried about pre-kindergarten funding and LGBTQ rights, or however the acronym goes, the rest of the world is playing four-dimensional economic chess, and Joe's playing pickup sticks. I mean, I can't even get Joe to the point of playing checkers because that's beyond his capacity. We are about to be destroyed by the rest of the world economically. Your money's going to end up worthless. I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm not giving you fear porn. I am telling you what is going on in the world. A lot of people don't understand this. I get it, okay? Economics is not something world economics is not something that's taught in high school. And unless you're an econ major or something like that, you don't learn about this stuff. This is tough. I talked this morning about brokerage firms unwinding all their margin. They're getting out of debt. They're going to cash. You can bet they are going to start putting their money into something else. I talked about China trying to get foreign investors into municipal bonds in China. All right. Watch what's going on with the dollar index. Watch what's going on with the exchange rate between the dollar and other currencies, specifically the yuan. Okay. I have a feeling that you have a lot of, everybody talks about, oh, gold's come down, silver's come down, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, it has. Okay. Now remember what that price is. That's a lot of paper silver too. Okay. Promissory notes. We owe you an ounce of silver. They don't have it. Okay. Or an ounce of gold or whatever it would be. I said in a video ages ago, there's about 10 ounces of silver sold on paper for every 1 ounce of physical silver that actually exists. Okay. So you're having an artificial pressure put on silver because the paper is getting sold. Do not buy paper silver. Do not buy paper gold. Get physical gold and silver. Rudy's talked about this for longer than I've been on YouTube. Okay. He's absolutely right. And you need to be buying precious metals to save your wealth. You need to get out of debt. Anything that you have right now that you can pay off the car, pay off the house, pay off whatever you got, do it. If you got stuff you don't need, sell it. Okay. If you've got a $50,000 car on a $30,000 income, sell the damn thing. Okay. Go buy yourself an inexpensive car. Because what's going to happen is those dollars are going to become worthless. And I will tell you this, the banks aren't going to care. They're still going to want to get paid. And when you get worthless money, you got no way to do it. This ain't good. And, people talk about false flags and things like that. This going on is 1,000 times worse than anything that's going on the southern border or Afghanistan or anything like this. This will destroy the United States. This is what 46 administration has managed to do in 8 months. If you voted for Joe, the blame is on you. Pinball out.